We really need to dump and fill. Things are kind of getting dire. If you saw our last video, the last dump station had been vandalized.
I'm not sure it's gonna work. Someone has smashed the credit card reader. Well, this is really sad. I guess this is how RVers lose services.
And now we're in a situation where our levels are pretty full in terms of our waste tanks, and we're getting low on water. And we can dump and fill at a Love's, but all the signage says that it's not potable water. And while we filter and filter again, and then we have the Akuva UV situation, the dump stations that we've seen haven't looked very sanitary. Would be. They look pretty rough, and I just didn't feel good about like risking that. So we're still on the hunt.
Good morning.
Good morning.
How you doing today?
I have coffee, so everything is good.
Awesome news. Got in a little bit late last night, parked in the dark. Not our usual thing.
Yeah, so we try not to do that, but yesterday was kind of a long day for Team Wheeler. We were driving through Arizona, and we dropped and the trains, by the way, were amazing. I've never seen so many big, huge, long trains passing and crisscrossing. It was awesome. If you're a train nerd, Arizona, guys. Who knew? But yesterday we were driving along and we stopped at a gas station, and on the RV pumps there was a broken down hybrid Kia with a family of 3. They had a teacup human and then the 2 parents, and they were traveling to their home state and they couldn't get their hybrid started. So Andrew and I, we got out the tester, we were like testing their battery, and we couldn't find their starter battery. We couldn't find it. It was supposed to be under the back seat, and I just couldn't find it anywhere, and neither could Andrew.
Yeah, they said the car was like 6 years old and they'd never changed the starter battery. So immediately we're thinking, it's kind of old for a starter battery. Couldn't find it. So infuriating.
And so we apologized for not being able to help, and we said we're going to be over in the parking lot making some eggs. So if you need us for anything, we have a truck full of tools, let us know. The father came walking up and he's like, hey, I have a kind of big ask. And I was like, okay, lay it on me. And he said, could you take my wife and my child to a hotel in Albuquerque? To which I said, absolutely, of course I can do that. He said the tow truck driver only can take 1 passenger, and he has no way to secure a car seat. And so then they were in the situation where there's 3 of them. They just needed a little bit of a helping hand. Albuquerque was like 2.5 hours away, and so we gave them a lift. And once we dropped them off in Albuquerque, the very nice woman had said, like, can I buy you coffee, or can I take you to dinner, or whatever. And I was like, absolutely not. You know, I would hope that somebody would stop and help me if I were in need. And so, you know, anyway, it got us delayed further, and we were heading towards Roswell, and we started to get tired, and we just pulled off at a rest stop. So we are at a rest stop in Roswell right now.
It totally worked for us. It was a nice quiet place for the night, but yeah, it's time to roll on to some warmer weather.
So Roswell's known for like dark skies, I believe.
Oh yeah, the stars.
Stars were unbelievable. And I didn't try to film it or anything. I just sort of like enjoyed it, and then for a very brief moment, and then I fled to the warmth of my trailer because it was so cold last night. So cold. 20s, not for me. Not for any sustained amount of time. So we're rolling south, further south today.
I've got fresh trim strip to cover the door hinge, little cover plate trims, and just going to get to that. These are looking pretty beat up, and I'd like to fix them.
We've actually been carrying this around for quite a while.
Yeah, it's one of those things we haven't got to. Quick repair. Just going to do it. I double checked the length outside off the old ones, and I think if it was maybe an 1/8 of an inch longer, it would actually look better and fit a little tighter. We cut it slightly longer.
Let's do that then.
Yeah. As Sean has mentioned, it's pretty cold outside, and I'm just going to peel these and stick them in place real quick, and hope everything stays. Just a quick dab with some alcohol to get the old junk out of here and clean. There we go. I like it. I think it's a nice tight fit. And a lot shinier than the last one, which had been taken off a bunch of times and was not quite as shiny as it should be. There we go. Sean has mentioned that we need to fix a few things in the bathroom. So before we get on the road today, I'm gonna fix this vent handle. We've replaced this actually before, and we've got a switch that's unreliable. I'm gonna swap that out too. It's finally warming up in here. I'm gonna take this fleece off. Of course I'm filming, so it works on the first click. That thing is erratic at best. All right, we're gonna take the screen out and wash it while we're taking this down. The switch is mounted through the screen, so the screen's coming down anyway. I'm gonna go wash it in the sink.
I'll wash it.
Thank you.
I was doing the other screens. The one under the vent hood.
So that has the screws still in it. Just be careful we don't lose them down the drain.
The one under the vent hood has disintegrated into the wash water, so we are going to need to buy another.
Yes, the one over the stove is in rough shape, so we're going to get another one of those to install that soon.
Hate that thing. Hate it. Tries to kill me all the time.
Disinfecting wipes. All right, I've cleaned up the vent internals here, and now I'm going to cut out the switch to wire in the new one. For this, I'm going to use my favorite Wagos. Should be quick and easy. All right, we've got the new switch wired here. Got the Wagos behind it, and I think everything's gone pretty well. Much cleaner up in there. These Ventline fans are real common. Airstreams and other campers. If you've got some time on your hands, you might want to check yours out and give it a quick clean, because they definitely collect a lot of junk. But there it is. I'm just going to put these screws back, and we should be all set. All right, good as new. Now for the test. One click. Perfect. Okay, I said I was done, but I gotta put that shower bar back up. And rinse all this down the drain.
You know what I just realized, Andrew?
What's that?
We now have the Starlink on, so I can connect the Nintendo Switch and do the updates. And over a year ago now, I bought the Mario Kart expansion pack.
Yeah.
And we could run the TV off the Jackery while we're boondocking and play some expanded.
There might be
new tracks.
Yeah.
You want to do that?
Yeah, check it out.
Yeah.
Here by the door we have our Levelmate Pro mounted. We don't have the wired in one. It requires a battery, and I've got to change that out now. The idea here is just to make a bunch of little repairs while Shauna's video editing. All right, Levelmate says we're close to level, but not quite. Close enough that I think I'm going to not worry about it right now. All right, we've got two little problems up here. Earlier today when Shauna was trying to clean the screen, it was basically coming apart, and so I'm going to change that out now. We've got a spare. And yesterday,
It was day before?
day before, we were on really rough roads, and the light bulb has fallen loose from up in here. So got to put that back in place. Hopefully it'll stay this time. Pretty simple. These things just snap right out. One of those. Yeah.
I was scrubbing it. It was coming off in my fingers. I only had 2 metal slivers, and then it was just all of the water when the grease.
Yeah, somehow the material just, I don't know, just comes out of them.
I was so frustrated.
So, one down. Now, the light bulb. See if we can not break it.
So we're on the road. When we're on the road, we often use that light as our, like, we come in the door and keep a low light level on. That has been sort of frustrating because I keep, like, wandering in and trying to click it on for some low level light, and it doesn't work.
Yeah, it's a little LED very good on power. Geez, I hope the
Oh no, is the bulb dead?
oh, polarity. I put it in backwards because those bulbs initially they were incandescent, and if they don't force you to put them in a certain way.
Yeah.
So always check. There's a tip. If you've got a bulb like that, flip it around one time just to make sure it's not the bulb.
For the polarity.
Yep.
Forgot.
LEDs, the polarity is important, and then the little cover goes back on. All right. Oops. On and off. Perfect.
We know your time is valuable. Thanks for joining us. We'll see you next week.